like a large caramel macchiato with an extra shot and whipped cream, please.
Coming up.
Wait, hold on. How much is that?
$4.85.
Okay, better drop the extra shot. What does that make it?
$4.20.
Better make it a small. What does that make it?
$3.30.
Better drop the whipped cream. What does that make it?
Less calories.
Oh my God, and he flew all the way to New York to tell me that. That's so romantic.
It's beautiful, really.
You're not even allowed to leave the state.
What's that now?
It's the Al Travis Show. I've got him, Senator Aric Putnam, of the program. And to be honest with you, sir, I had someone ask me the other day, how can you be friends with Putnam? You know he leans left. Like, yeah, I just enjoy him on the radio. I don't have to do much more with him. And today's, I'm looking for things to chat with you about. And the big story today probably has nothing to do with you being a lefty or me being a right or anything like that. But I think you and I might agree on this 100%. And it's kind of anti-Target. So I don't know where you stand on the Target. But yesterday, the big story of the paper today, Target had announced they're going to let go like up to 1,000 people in the Minneapolis area. They're going to, the management team, 1,000. Oh my God, how much management you got is my first thought. But that being said, so yesterday they let go 815 people. And the story kind of tried to not rip Target, but say this is big business all over. 8 o'clock, they were told everybody stay home this week. You can work from home this week. And then at 8 o'clock, they get a text saying, please join HR at 9 o'clock. So like 1,000 people get told they got to join HR on a call. Then the call doesn't work real well. Some people saying half the stuff you couldn't hear wasn't working right. But they were told by 9:15, if you're sticking with us, if you're not fired, you'll get a text. And that's how they fired 815 people. See, I knew you'd look at this like, where's this going? That's how they found out they stayed. And if you didn't get the email, you were gone. This is how we fire people in 2025. Quick thoughts on that, Senator?
Well, so if they were firing management, they should have fired that guy. If they're getting their administration smaller, the guy who came up with that idea, first one to go. Because that's insane.
I actually know someone in management at Target, not way up there, but he was worried he may or may not make this cut. And I got a text at like 10 o'clock. Whew! Made it through that. He got a text. And then you read the story and like, there can be no more inhumane way of doing business than we're going to have a robocall thing. And if you get a text by us, by the way, then you're in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Target, big Minnesota company. Just wrong. Just wrong on every
behavior. But I've learned a little something from it. And I think we can apply it in other spheres. So like this presumption that you're fired unless you find out that you're not. Let's go with that with voting, and I'm reelected unless you show up to vote against me, because that's just the dumbest thing in the world.
That is brilliant, Putnam. What a way to bring that around. Now there's a reason I talked about him. That is brilliant. I just, I know it would take a little time to talk to 800 human beings and tell them they're fired, but to tell them to stay home for the week. Now, 800 of them need to do the walk of shame into the corporate office sometime with an empty box to take the crap home. This doesn't get done today. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd be so mad that I would show up and I would not flush. I would show up and get my stuff.
Go use the restroom and never.
And I would
that's
drop
a great
a
call.
bomb and just leave it there, because that is such a horrible thing to do to that many people, and I'm that petty. They deserve a little bit of chemical warfare on that front. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then you found out by getting an email, okay, you're still in. And like all of a sudden you're like jumping for joy, and you're like, now they got, and what they created, as I presume at 9:15 yesterday, was a big bog down in the internet. Because let's say my buddy gets his text 9:15, you're in. It probably doesn't list the other 115 that were in. So he's got to text all the people on his team. Did you make it, Bob? What do you mean? You know you made it? I didn't get my text. I mean, it would just been everybody text everybody at Target all morning long to see who's in and who's not. Brilliant move. I don't know how.
Productive day, too. I bet a lot of work got done that day. Come on, man.
Okay. And now you've been let go. You're one of 815 who just didn't get the email. Do you got to then text HR and say, do I get a severance package? You just created a whole, anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about that. Oh my God, is that horrible? Sorry.
I'm with you on that one. That's pretty gross.
All right. The other one is actually a real story, but I don't get it, but that's probably why I have you on the program. Keith Ellison, our Attorney General, and 38 other Attorney Generals, this is the headline on Star Trip, General asked Congress to ban intoxicating hemp products. Didn't we just get that passed in the state? Why would our Attorney General be trying to get that as a federal thing? And when you talk to his people because he didn't talk to his people, said something, well, we don't want other people from other states to bring their lower quality, less intoxicating or more, I don't know, whatever it is, to come into our state. Shouldn't we, as Minnesota, knowing it's a federal ban on marijuana, stay out of asking them for doing things when we actually have people in Minnesota making hemp drinks and stuff? What am I missing? Do you know?
I'm missing the whole thing too. I don't know anything about this. It sounds like there's some details that I don't know about that are probably pretty important because.
Well, they must be, but I don't. We do in Minnesota. We have a very big industry. Actually, I think if I wasn't mistaken, I read somewhere we're like the third or fourth biggest producer of the hemp beverages, the cocktail. I don't have them. You know,
Yeah.
What do they call them?
Seltzers,
energy drinks. Oh, the seltzers yeah. So we do that. Now I believe we have an issue with how we manage. How are we going to manage going forward the hemp content of it? Like 3-2. I think there's a problem there. But we do this in Minnesota. We have people that make a living doing this in Minnesota, and those are the people who are whining in this article. Hey, get out of our business. You're going to put us out of business. He signed up with 38 other attorney generals. I don't get that. It seems like it's more complicated than we can know.
Well, so I was an author on the cannabis bill. I'm glad that we legalized. I think that's all good news. But the way that we're legalizing is pretty complicated and kind of difficult. Like my good pal John Henry runs a gummy shop downtown St. Cloud, and it's a fantastic place. He just likes to tell stories about old St. Cloud. Super nice guy. Average age of his customer is probably 75. And it's just, intoxicating gummies. But sometimes he'll go out to some of the other shops in town and send me photos of the illegal stuff that they're selling. Well, like, they've got the 300 milligram gummy at this other store, and you're like, oh, come on, man, can't we get our stuff together on this one and do some consistency? So I hope that's
okay. You are in on getting this passed, and again, I have absolutely said every day on the show, every time we talk about it, I don't care. The whole hemp thing has gone past me. I'm 60. This is not going to become something in my life. I really don't care as long as we do it well and the rollout goes good. You look back at it now. What's that been? 3 years, 4 years? Mm-hmm. This hasn't. Would you say it's rolled out well?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, we haven't done it well. And why is that? I ask you this. Why is that? Because I was told when it was passing, we've been talking about this for years, it's all set up, it's going to run like clockwork. It really has not in any fashion.
Well, it's a big lift. I think that's part of it. It was a big lift. And the other thing is you've got so many competing voices in there. I had an activist come to my office when we were first doing this, who had been fighting to legalize for years. And he's like, if this is the way you legalize, I want it to fail. And his whole argument, he'd been doing this for 20 years. His whole argument was that we're still treating the plant like it's bad because no one says how much beer you can have in your fridge, but we're saying you can only have 2 pounds of weed. And I thought, but 2 pounds of weed is a lot of weed. And he was like, no, but I'm for this, but you're doing it wrong. And his idea of doing it wrong is totally different from someone else's idea of doing it wrong. So I'm saying, I agree with you that we haven't done it great, but I'm also saying the degree of difficulty was pretty high.
It was. I guess back to mine that if we get it passed, maybe we needed to say, and we're passing this, but instead of you can start going to the Wild West here in a year or whatever it was, 18 months, we're going to take the next 3 years to get it there. And what I mean by that is I don't understand how once you did that, the tribes were able to start kicking marijuana out in a heartbeat. I don't know how quick I know nothing about it, but then the local guys couldn't. And then who gets the right to do it? And there's this guy in Albert Lee, evidently, right? He got the okay from the government, but the city says, you can't open up here. We know you. We know how we're not taking you. So there had to have been a better who's in and who's not. I mean, guys, I don't know. Does the mafia do marijuana? I don't know. But let's say Guido comes in from New York and hey, we're going to get into the business. I just wanted a safeguards that this would go well, and I just haven't seen it yet, including who's running the place. Do we even have do we have a chairman of the
we do
marijuana
OCM, but it did take a couple of years to find somebody. Yeah. So I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I mean, it's kind of weird too that the first shop to open in St. Cloud is a tribal shop, and so the fact that the tribes are opening up shops outside the reservation space is also kind of interesting. I don't know how that happened, but that's another
Yeah.
wrinkle that's there too. I'm sorry to,
That
to like make your argument for you and be on your side on this one, but
it's better
I
than
do
me
think it's
because
a
I
little bit
generally
weird.
don't know what I know. I don't know much, so when you do that for me, I appreciate it. And again, maybe this all flushes out in the end. The biggest concern, and we haven't got there yet, and maybe you can't get there. You're driving in a car, cop pulls you over. You know how much alcohol's in your blood system, right below the thing. We cannot do that with marijuana, as I understand it today. All we can do is say, you smell like marijuana and you're driving crazy, man. So we got to decide how crazy that is. I don't, that's just too wishy-washy for me. That's all I'm saying. We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Got to go to break. Lots more to talk about right after this. I've got him, Senator Aric Putnam.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic.
You know that car sound that sounds like a cricket playing a banjo? Jays can fix that. You know when you step on the brakes and your car sounds like a pair of tennis shoes in the dryer? Paul is a guy who specializes in that. And you know that sound that never happens when the mechanic's around? Paul took a whole course on that. If you own a car, you need to know Paul. Paul owns Jay's Auto Shop, 202 North Main Street, Blue Earth, 525-1052, 525-1052.
As in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
We've got him, Senator Aric Putnam. This next topic will be interesting because I think we'll completely agree or disagree, and I won't know why on either one. SNAP programs, federal stuff, we don't talk a lot about it, but with the federal government shut down, SNAP goes away here, I believe, at the end of the month. So in 2 days, that it will include 440,000 households in Minnesota. Long story short, the stuff you're going to hear today, Democrats believe that the USDA can use some emergency funds, which they say is for like tornado relief or something. They're saying they can't because it's shut down. They're going to have lawsuits. I don't personally have any clue, right or wrong, who's on this side. Senator Putnam, this is something, the governor put $4 million towards this last week to help the hungry, threw it at food shelves. Good. I'm like, good for him. Today's story is there's like $916 million more dollars came into the state of Minnesota than we were expecting. We got an overflow, and at the same time, this is happening. Maybe it's illegal to do it, and maybe it isn't. Some guy in Florida, some governor in Florida said, we're going to cover the SNAP stuff. We'll figure out the money later. Minnesota's got a emergency fund that's filled. The story says we $916 million. Governor put $4 million thinking we can get through another month of bad times. Well, if you got $916 million, that's like a crap load of months we could support these poor folks that are going to go. Can we not, as Minnesotans, all agree we don't want the 440,000 to be without food? Throw them a bone. We have the money. I guess can he not do that? Is this not an emergency enough to take that excess money and say, Minnesotans, we'll pay the SNAP. We'll figure out how to get paid back from the government when this gets done, or if we got to eat it up, we eat it up. You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong? You're looking at me weird, like I'm off the reservation here somehow.
No, I don't know the legality of the different funds. I do know we still have four and a half, because we saved a ton of money of that surplus. People like to say we wasted it all, but we saved a ton. We have $4 billion reserve in the rainy day fund, and this extra, I don't say extra because there's no such thing as extra money, but the new money that came through in the budget forecast is pretty promising too. But just yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine. This is going to sound like a politician telling a story, and I guess it is, but I'm talking to a friend of mine and her daughter is going to stop paying her car insurance because she needs to save the money to buy food for her kids.
Sure.
Like, that's the world that the federal government is putting us in right now.
And I don't disagree, but as we sit here as Minnesotans talking about how compassionate we are, and I'm Mr. Flying right-wing conservative guy, let them pick themselves up by their bootstraps. I know y'all think that's me. I'm sitting here, 440,000, and let's say it's 1,000 a month. That's $4 million a month. We got 916 just came in off of that. Pay them until we get there, and then see if we can't get it back from federal government. You owe us, the little IOU thing. If anybody in Minnesota goes hungry, I think there's crap to go around. And the federal government, let's yell at them, figure that out. But if we have that kind of money lying around and we don't help them somehow, I think we're doing it wrong too. Is it? And again, I don't know the law, but
yeah. No, I agree. Like, I think we absolutely 100% need to do something here, like locally in the state, because of how much the federal government's screwing up. But if we're hoping to spend that money and get it reimbursed from the Trump administration, that jackass still owes St. Cloud $200,000 for the cops that he ignored.
Okay, so let's say they don't, and I don't know how long this goes on. I presume it ain't gonna go on forever, but I don't know how long it goes on. Mm-hmm. But okay, cost of doing business in Minnesota. If we're going to say we're that state, then we take care of these people. We got the money. You're not even going to ask me for an extra dime. Take it out of the 916 million till we can't. And again, I'm the crazy right winger here. I just think we don't let them fall through the cracks.
No, I totally 100% agree. Again, like, I don't know the legality of taking from Peter to pay Paul, but people got to eat, and this is just incredibly irresponsible.
Do you know
is the federal government part?
What is the emergency fund for? Does it say just like natural disaster, or could the governor say, "Hey, 440,000 Minnesotans are starving to death. Seems like an emergency. I can dip in." What does it take for it?
We have a separate emergency fund. So there's different monies here and there, but we do have a specific articulated emergency fund. It's my bill, so I fill it up every other year, and it's about $40 million in that special separate fund. But that's for natural disasters. I tried to use it to deal with don't tell anybody, but I tried to poach from it to pay for biosecurity at avian influenza outbreaks, because to me that seemed like a natural disaster. It's a disease that's affecting birds, causing eggs to go up, and that was not legal. So there's just weird particularities with these different kinds of accounts, and I think at some level you can just ignore that and write the check, but not at mine.
Okay, and does this fall under you because the Ag Committee, I presume, because SNAP is in the Ag bill, which is kind of weird, by the way, just to begin with. We don't even get at all that. Is that why it'd be under your emergency management money, because it's under Ag?
I think partially. It's kind of weird because the food itself is under Ag, but the food shelves are under DHS.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah, doesn't that make a ton of sense? So
it's like going to the Department of Education to feed the children. Because they did lunches back in the day, so during COVID. It's just okay. I don't want to get it.
Like one agency for schools and one agency to buy the books. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. That's kind of where we're at.
Fair enough. It's not funny to laugh at, but sometimes you look at it and it's just like this. There can't be this much money lying around in bank accounts in Minnesota, and we are concerned that our Minnesotans will go hungry. We do need to do something. I'm calling for it. I don't know what it is because I'm not that smart, but I love having you on the program, my friend. Thank you.
Great to see you too. See you next week, man.
You bet. Senator Aric Putnam on the Al Travis Show. Mr. Punt, how are you? You're muted. That's going to help if you unmute.
I am muted. What? Oh, now I can talk.
There you go.
All right.
Where is the Minnesota Conventions of States? Do you have a website or something I can put on the link here to send people to?
Convention is